Super Bo-glet is a Pizza Tower fan game that's been in development since before Pizza Tower even released. The game stars the titular Bo-glet, a weird British creature who's on a journey to get his prized tuck crackers back from the clutches of the evil Mr. Grape. This fan game features only 2 levels, but makes up for it by providing some of the best level design, gimmicks, animation, and music I've ever seen in any fan-made Pizza Tower project. In this video, I'll be going over the entirety of Super Bo-glet, covering every level, detail, and secret the game has to offer. There will be spoilers for the rest of the game ahead, including most of the secrets and unlockable stuff, so if you haven't played the game for yourself first, I implore you to do that. Also, we're pretty close to hitting 50k, so if you like this video, make sure to subscribe. Without further ado, it's Bo time. Before we hop into the actual game, I want you to take a quick look at our main character, Bo-glet. Now you may notice something in particular about this guy, and that's that he looks like absolute doo-doo. Believe it or not, there's actually a very good reason for this. See, back when Super Bo-glet was first being developed, the game was initially just meant to be a low-quality shitpost. The early demos definitely reflect this, with all the sprites looking like they were drawn in 2 seconds in MS Paint with a mouse, and the entire game just giving off the aura of being made by a preschooler. However, I guess the devs just decided at some point that they actually wanted their game to be good, because this game got one of the most insane glow-ups known to man between the last demo and final release. Practically every single asset in the game was either updated or completely replaced, with these few remaining old sprites serving as a reminder of the game's shitposty roots. Don't be fooled though, as while these new sprites are much higher quality and obviously have a lot of care put into them, they're still equally as chaotic as the old sprites. Pretty much all of Bo-glet's sprites are drawn in a completely different art style, with these styles ranging from DeviantArt scribbles to Ren and Stimpy to even whatever this is. Pizza Tower's animation was already not afraid to go off model for the sake of comedy, but this is just taking it to a whole new level. While Bo's art style may be in constant turbulence, the overall art direction for this game is absolutely rock solid, with most of it being drawn in a style that's similar to Pizza Tower but still has its own flair. I'll be showing footage of pretty much the entire game during this video, so make sure to take a look at all the small details as we go through each level. First things first, upon booting up the game, we're treated with a file select screen that's absolutely oozing with style. Our titular protagonist is featured front and center, with each file presenting him in an increasingly demented state. This third animation especially disturbs me, like what is he doing? After selecting a file, we're dropped off in the hub world and can now get acquainted with how Bo-glet controls. This game has absolutely no tutorial and already expects you to have played and mastered Pizza Tower's controls before starting. Bo-glet's base moveset is pretty much identical to Peppino's, but there are a few additions that add more options when it comes to traversing stages. First of all, several movement options that were previously unable to be interrupted, including the body slam, drop dive, and uppercut, can now be cancelled out of using this weird kick move. This is a pretty big improvement in my opinion, as it allows you to save yourself from some potentially disastrous misinputs as long as you react fast enough. Bo-glet is also able to ground pound through ladders and metal blocks without stopping, which is a small but extremely satisfying change that helps you keep a lot of your momentum in certain sections. Finally, probably the most interesting addition to this moveset is the return of Kung Fu. Kung Fu was a move that existed in some of the earlier versions of Pizza Tower, with its main function being to launch you forward with an attack that could kill any enemies in your path. It was removed pretty early on, presumably for being kind of redundant with the grab dash, but for whatever reason the devs decided to add it back to Bo-glet's moveset. This move is honestly pretty useless, and I beat the game without even knowing it existed, but it's still a pretty neat addition that shows the developers' appreciation for the early Pizza Tower versions. Overall, the changes made to the base Pizza Tower movement are subtle but go a long way to make Bo-glet feel very nice to control. Now that we're acquainted with the controls, let's hop into the first level in the game, Midway. This level's theme is that of a city. You start out on the streets with several buildings and roads visible in the background. A couple rooms into this level, there's a short section that takes place in a parking garage, and at the end of this section you super jump up onto the final area, which takes place on the rooftops of the city. During tuck time, this game's equivalent to pizza time, the background even changes, with the sky turning to night and all the buildings coming to life. Similarly to Pizza Tower, each level in this game includes 3 secrets and a secret treasure room, with the treasure room only being able to open by the Jerome stand-in for this game, Bernie. Sometimes it's kinda hard to tell what the treasure for each level is supposed to be, like for instance, the one in this level kinda looks like a cheese wheel or maybe a round sponge, but I'm not sure. There are also 5 savory in each level, which replace the toppings from regular Pizza Tower. These include a bunny, some weird noise homunculus, a sentient chicken nugget, Tuck, and a cat. This level has a pretty straightforward layout, but is also a lot more complex than something like John Gutter. You can definitely tell that the developers trusted the player's skill in designing these levels and wanted to prioritize fun and consistent gameplay over a gradual difficulty curve. There are no transformations in this level, and the main gimmick is instead a very heavy usage of these flat and sloped grind rails. There are also a multitude of new enemies, with some being based on existing Pizza Tower characters and others being completely original. First up, Grape is a reskin of the cheese slime, walking back and forth and being unable to do damage to the player. This enemy also has a slightly darker variant named Ricardo, who only spawns once at the start of each level and is presumably there to start your combo for certain ranks. Tack is a reskin of a fork knight and is just as annoying, damaging you if you run into its front side. True Leader is a unique enemy that turns into a projectile when hit. This projectile can kill both other enemies as well as this game's equivalent to the stupid rat, the capybara. There are also green versions of some of these enemies that spawn when you destroy one of these bottle blocks, but as far as I can tell they behave exactly the same as their regular counterparts. Finally, we have the pillar at the end of the level, which in this game has been replaced with a giant raisin. If you end up running out of time during Tuck time, Mr. Grape will spawn, acting as Pizza Face and instantly ending your run if he catches you. Each level also has a lap 2 just like Pizza Tower, and I think now's a pretty good time to talk about this game's amazing soundtrack. Despite only featuring 2 levels, this game has 19 unique songs in its OST. Typically, with a fan-made OST, I don't really expect much, maybe a couple decent tracks, but nothing too amazing. However, for some reason, Super Bo-glet of all games has one of the best soundtracks to a fan game I've ever heard. Some standout tracks include the title theme, all of the level themes, and the credits theme, but I want to give special attention to the 2 escape themes. The first of these themes, It's Bo Time, is probably the best It's Pizza Time inspired song I've heard. It has the same general vibe of It's Pizza Time, but with a different melody that makes the song seem a lot more dramatic, as well as different instruments that lean more towards Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis soundtracks than the GBA Wario Land 4 style of Pizza Tower. However, once you reach the Lap 2 portal, the music takes a complete 180. The Lap 2 song, Ring Around the Bosie, is the song that you've been hearing throughout this entire section, and it is a complete departure from a typical Lap 2 theme. While most Lap 2 themes are super intense with the sound of electric guitars and MIDI keyboards making your adrenaline skyrocket, this song is a chill jazzy tune played using a piano, drums, and a saxophone. This style of music is very reminiscent of the chaotic and jazzy soundtracks found in older cartoons, and I think it fits the vibe of this game perfectly. This song really makes you feel like you're in a silly cartoon chase scene and you need to stumble and scramble your way to the exit in the most comedic way possible. I seriously recommend all of you check out this entire OST after the video. The fact that these songs aren't even a fraction as popular as a lot of lap mod music is kind of criminal considering their quality. Upon finishing a level, you'll receive a rank based on how good you did. These ranks from worst to best are F for Bo No, R for Rank, O for O Whale, A for Average, T for Tucktastic, and the prestigious U rank for You Killed It. The requirements for a U rank are the same as a Pizza Tower P rank, having you beat a level after getting all the secrets, the treasure, a high enough score, and without dropping your combo. The U rank for Midway took me about an hour to beat, and most of the attempts failed thanks to me not killing these enemies on lap 2 and losing my combo. Overall, this level is probably average difficulty to U rank, definitely harder than something like John Gutter, but maybe not as painful as the likes of Bloodsauce Dungeon. Before we move on to the second and final level in this game, I'd like to take a quick look at the hub world. First of all, if you go down to this bottom section, you'll find a mailbox with a bunch of letters in it. You'll receive a new letter for pretty much everything you do in the game, whether that be beating a level, finding a secret, or even drowning in the lake. These letters are full of funny and cute optional dialogue that helps flesh out the world and even point towards some additional secrets. Directly above the mailbox, you can also find a door that leads to a short credit sequence listing all the artists, developers, and musicians who worked on the game. These credits are a little boring to sit through, but luckily the devs added a feature where you can throw tomatoes at the screen while you're waiting. Scattered around the lobby are a few characters, including a sentient water bucket, a sentient paint bucket, and these grape grannies who are basically just reskinned pizza grannies. We'll be revisiting this hub world later to look for some secrets, but for now let's go ahead and jump into the final level of this game, Lake Eerie. Now this level... Oh, wait, hold on a second. Alright, sorry about that. Anyways, as I was saying, this level takes place on the aforementioned Lake Eerie. The first half of the level takes place on the shore of the lake, while the second half of the level takes place in a dark cavern called Eerie Cave. This game's beautiful sprite work definitely shines through in this level, with the lighting and overall atmosphere being on point both in and out of the cave. The inside of the cave especially is amazing, with it being split up into additional sections showing you progressing deeper into the cave system, all while the level's extremely chill music plays in the background. Lake Eerie has several more gimmicks than Midway and even introduces a completely original transformation. Starting out, this level introduces water, which we can float and run on thanks to Bo-noise dousing himself in oil upon entering the level. If you enter the water while diving or body slamming, you won't start floating until you come into contact with a floor or wall, and this mechanic is necessary for traversing several sections where the only way forward is through the drink. There are also these white rings which when touched will spawn 8 red coins, and collecting them all within a time limit rewards you with a bunch of points. However, the main event of this level is the unique transformation. If you run into one of these fisherman guys scattered throughout the level, he'll transform you into a fish before tossing you into the water. As a fish, you gain the ability to swim freely underwater, as well as a dash that can kill enemies, but at the cost of being super slow on land. The transformation even changes all of the collectibles following you to also be fish. This fish transformation is honestly a lot of fun, and the dash makes navigating the water sections much less painful than in other games. Whenever you're not ready to be a fish anymore, you can simply touch this cat doctor and it'll change you back. I wonder what this thing's name is. There are also 2 new enemies introduced in this level. The first is Clamchor, a flying clam that will slam down on the ground if you walk under it. This guy is pretty easy to deal with as regular Bo-noise, but for some reason it becomes a million times harder to kill if you're fish Bo. I seriously lost count of how many times I lost my U rank because I tried to spin into one of these clams and the game just said no. The other enemy introduced is Blood Cherry, who will simply shoot a projectile at you if you get close. Finally, there's actually a secret enemy that only spawns near the entrance of this level during the escape sequence. I just have to run over here and... Yeah, so this little abomination is named Bobby, and he essentially functions the same as Snotty from Pizza Tower. If you for some reason murder this innocent creature, its corpse will be permanently stationed at the exit door, forever reminding you of the horrible atrocities you committed. This level is definitely a lot harder than Midway to U rank, with it taking me over 2 hours to beat on stream. Most of my failures were due to the fish transformation, as well as just getting confused by the level's more open layout. Despite all of this level is definitely my favorite of the two, just thanks to its varied gameplay and amazing visuals. After completing the U rank for each of the 2 levels, we can see that our save file now reads 101%, which is the max you can get in Pizza Tower. However, this game actually has one more percentage point you can get, and it requires 2 extremely hidden collectibles called the Super Secret Savory. There's one of these in each of the main levels, and their locations are extremely hard to find if you look for them normally. Luckily, when I beat this game, I was live streaming it to several hundred people, and a couple of those people were kind enough to tell me exactly where I had to look. The first Super Secret Savory is located in Midway right after you exit the parking garage. Instead of continuing to the right, you simply have to walk onto this ledge to the left and ground pound this hidden breakable block. This will reveal a cage that contains, oh my god, what the hell is that? Yeah, so apparently this weird 4-legged creature is one of Bo-noise's OCs named Bo Crystal. After obtaining this mythical creature, all we have to do is run back to the exit to save it. The other Super Secret Savory is located during the escape sequence in Lake Eerie. Basically, all you have to do is uppercut the specific part of the ceiling right after entering this room, and it reveals a hidden compartment with a cage. I genuinely have no clue how you're supposed to find this one normally, because there's really no indication that there are breakable blocks here other than the fact that these tiles are textured ever so slightly different from the others. The Super Secret Savory in this level is Fruitset, a creature who looks pretty much exactly like Moveset but with roller skates. I don't know if this character has any relation with Bo-noise, but the letter you receive after saving her does say with love, so maybe they're together, I don't know. Either way, once we finally save the last savory, our save file will read a full 102%. However, just because we got 102% doesn't mean that we've seen everything the game has to offer. There are still several secrets to uncover in both the levels and the hub world. First up, one of the letters you can receive in the mail comes from a secret council of control. If you follow the instructions given by the capitalized words and type the word awesome while on the options menu, you'll gain access to a secret menu full of secret settings. This is essentially just a fun little cheat code menu, so I'm gonna run through all the options really quick. Cat HUD adds a bunch of different pictures of cats onto your screen. This option is completely useless other than making it harder to see your game, but at least the cats are pretty cute. Greenifier causes your screen to be gradually tinted green while turned on. This happens extremely slowly, to the point where I literally forgot the setting was on until I went to the title screen and thought my monitor was broken or something. RPG mode turns the game into an RPG where you have to level up all of your stats in order to do anything. This mode is very obviously a joke and not meant to be played, but I'm actually kinda curious as to how high of a level you'd need to get in order to beat Midway or Lake Eerie. Retro Bow is an interesting one, teleporting you to a secret level once the option is selected. This level is a 1-to-1 recreation of the first level of Super Mario Bros. 2 on the NES, complete with a VHS filter and a remix of the overworld theme playing in the background. At the end of the level, you can find an indestructible version of the Raisin Pillar who has now grown arms just to punch you in the face. Hey, it looks like there's something behind the pillar too. Oh. Last but not least, the Call Luigi option has you, as the name suggests, call Luigi. Upon selecting this option, you'll hear Luigi pick up the phone, spout some Italian gibberish for a seemingly random amount of time, and then hang up. Bye-bye. What a Chad. While we're in the hub world, there's actually a couple hidden secret rooms that can be found here. The first isn't really hidden, but if you find every secret in every level, you'll unlock this sound test room that will let you listen to every song in this peak OST. An actual hidden room can be found right behind some destructible blocks in the ceiling near the credits door. This room is similar to a lot of Pizza Tower secret hub rooms, as it shows off some unused and scrapped content. There's an unused level entrance, several unused sprites, and even this weird unused transformation that has you slowly fly around while holding onto a fireball. The other secret room can be found by crouch jumping onto this wall next to the entrance to Midway. This room is one very long and ominous hallway with Mr. Grape's face plastered all over the background. At the end of the hallway, you'll find Pizzelle from Sugary Spire in a jail cell, seemingly waiting for the next demo to finally be released. There's actually one last secret in the hub world, and it takes place in front of this mirror. Now, according to my chat, all you have to do is taunt 3 times and something cool will happen. Oh. What did I do? Okay. Oh. Huh? Oh. My game crashed. This is the error message I got. Finally, there's one more secret room we can find if we head into Lake Eerie. After reaching the cave section, you can body slam into the corner of this small pool of water to reveal a hidden area. If you go through the store, you can find an area reminiscent of the bacon room from Pizza Tower, only this time made out of goldfish. In the background, you can see a giant ominous looking fish staring straight into your soul and following your every move. Have no fear though, as if you simply hold down the taunt button and start dancing, the fish will dance with you too. How wholesome. I really hope this video has been able to convey the amount of love and passion that's been put into this short 2-level long fan game. It's obvious from the start that the developers of Super Bo-glet wanted to prioritize quality over quantity when making this game, and while I am slightly sad that we won't be getting more levels, I still respect their decision and appreciate what they already created. Everyone watching this video should go download and play this fan game right now to experience it themselves. It's a standalone program, so you don't even need to have Pizza Tower to run it. This is definitely the best completed fan game I've played so far, and it really makes me hopeful for the future with projects like Sugary Spire still in the works. Anyways, that's gonna be it from me. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you all in the next video.